right here is fake money. It's not real, okay? It is real, but the point I'm trying to make is this money is useless in retrospect. The only reason that it's worth $100 and you even know what $100 is because you've understood that over time you can give away one of these notes for $100 worth of value or $100 worth of product or something that you perceive to be worth giving up one of these for. So in that sense, money is fake. It's completely made up. Its value is whatever man has determined it to be, and money is nothing and totally useless until used. So if you think about it, it's a game of who can get the money. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're in business, who can get the most money? Like that's the guy with the power. That's the guy with the control, and that's who wins at the end of the day. So I'm putting this video out here just to talk about how I don't think that money is important. I've learned from, it's important, but I don't think that it's what it's perceived to be. So accumulating money is not the goal. The goal is to be fulfilled and to be able to help people with your money for me personally. So success is going to be defined for me personally as wealth. So wealth is all areas of my life being healthy and being full. So being fulfilled in my relationships, being fulfilled in my career and what I do, being fulfilled in the way that I give back to people, finding fulfillment in helping people. And you can't really do these things without money. If you are helpless, how can you help? So my goal is to be in a place where I'm able to help in unconceivable ways. I'm not talking about small little goals. I don't think that you should limit yourself. If you're an entrepreneur watching this, I struggle with this because I don't want to put a video out here saying that I believe if you're just working a job and you're making 40, 50 grand a year that you're doing the wrong thing. I don't feel that way. I love that and I support that. And when I see someone working hard to feed their family, as my dad did for me, I don't knock that. I'm not looking down on you. It's just in the entrepreneur game, in e-commerce that I'm in, money is like a game, guys. It's like how much can you get? How can you scale this out? How can you make this business profitable? It's real life. It has its own struggles like every business. I don't want you guys to think if you get an e-com or if you're in e-com that it's just a bed of roses and that these big numbers mean a whole lot. But at the end of the day, if you can accumulate a lot of money, you can live a full life and you can help and you can give back to people and help people live a life that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to. And maybe, you can get out there and shoot a video like this and encourage someone and they can reach the potential that they have or come close to the potential that they have in life. Maybe because of that, they lived to a higher level of potential for themselves and they were able to give back and do things that they would have otherwise not done. So that's kind of my goal here. I just want to talk about what I'm seeing in my life. I'm seeing success from years and years of never giving up, despite people telling me that it's not possible, telling me that I should take it easy. I'm not that guy because the people on higher levels in society, they're on a pedestal. They're separated from normal people, right? If you're famous, if you have a lot of money, if you have a nice car, there's some sort of power presence and you are assumed to not be normal, right? You're not this normal guy. For some reason, you can't be a normal guy. And that's because getting this right here is deemed as unachievable for most. So when people told me when I was 14 years old that I needed to kind of calm down, I'm talking too big, literally saying the word rich in society is a no-no. You don't say I'm rich or I'm going to get rich or I want to be rich. I can't find anything in my heart morally or from any place that I've tried to find. I can't find anything wrong with saying you want to be rich. I don't have any guilt for it. When I do someone wrong, I'm going to have tremendous guilt. I don't like guilt. I have a guilty conscience. I was raised a Christian. But when you're talking about saying the word rich, I feel no sort of remorse from it because I understand that with this money, what I will do, what I can do is beyond normal comprehension. And I say that because I can't talk to normal everyday people about this kind of thing and them not be like, what do you mean? Rich people are bad. Where'd you get that from? That is some sort of rule that you have in place. I don't know. I do know where it comes from. It's part of the school system, the whole entire flows of life that you go through where you're taught how to be a good employee. And again, there's nothing wrong with being a good employee, but that is what makes you have these negative connotations with money. And in all reality, those negative connotations with money is what caps you in your life. It sets a limit because you have these unconscious belief systems and rhythms about you that allow you to live your life the way that you currently are and keep doing the same thing over and over and get the same results and wonder why you're broke and wonder why things don't work out for you and you're all negative and you're down and you think that other people have an advantage over you. Like, my grades were terrible in school. I have no advantage over anybody. Absolutely. Like, everyone I talk to, the people I work with, they blow my mind. I'm like, you guys are so smart. Like, I wish I was that smart. I wish my brain worked that fast. So, and I'm like able to talk to you right now on camera about this because of the fact that I've just been so intrigued by successful people that I just keep studying them. I figure out, like, over time, I found out they're normal people. No one is above anyone else. And the cocky attitudes that people have, that kills me. I don't know where it comes from. Like, we all wake up in the morning, right? We have like a headache sometimes. We don't feel good. We don't want to get out of bed sometimes. We have to go to the bathroom first thing in the morning. We got to brush our teeth, get our clothes on. Like, all of these traits, these things that you have to do in order to survive. We got to have water, like all of these things are common across all walks of life, all levels of success. And on another note, to kind of just end this video, wrap up what I'm trying to get to here, is that if you are a guy making $20,000 a year and you're working like part-time or whatever, you're making like terrible poverty rates, you have the same ability as someone who is currently making $1 million a year to make that money. You have the same ability, because the fact that I know personally, I'm not a super quick guy. I'm terrible at math. I struggled in school. It's all about the understanding of the fact that the playing field is level for the most part. Now, some people unfortunately have handicaps. They do have like mental capacity limitations, and they have physical limitations, but that still doesn't define your level of success that you can achieve in life. And again, this money's fake. So coming, full circle back around, this stuff right here is useless unless you use it. So if you look at it as a game and how much can you get and what are you going to do with it when you get it, and you have full confidence that you're going to accumulate wealth, then you'll do it. But if you think of it as some sort of unachievable thing, that maybe that's not for you, maybe you're not smart enough to achieve it, or maybe you're not gonna be able to figure all these things out or deal with the pressure or stress of owning a business, like, it's probably not for you. But at the same time, like, I've had those same doubts in myself. I've thought of, like, for example, my dream car is a Lamborghini, and I don't even really call it a dream car anymore. Like, I really don't, because first of all, I've drove foreign cars at this point. I'm around a lot of wealthy people. Again, you'll hear me say this a lot, surrounding yourself with the right people, that's everything. If you're surrounding yourself, it's very obvious. If you're surrounding yourself with nothing but people who are negative and down on themselves and believe these systematic rules, these unconscious beliefs about life that they don't even know where they came from, they just live and die by it, like, they are never going to push you. So if you surround yourself with people who understand and they are above these commonalities of, like, all right, I can't never figure that out, I'm not smart enough, whatever. Like, these people are going to keep you from ever seeing who you could have actually been in life. And I don't want to die or be on my deathbed knowing that I didn't give it all I had, and know that I didn't try as hard as I possibly could and exhaust every single opportunity that I had to find out what the end result is. The unknown, right? You don't know what could happen from, like, let's say you were discouraged before and you gave up, versus like you watch this video and now you're like, all right, hopefully now you understand that I got to get out here and figure this stuff out. No one's smarter than me. Like, I have the same ability to make $10 million and put all that money back into real estate and take care of my family and snowball effect, grow my life to a 10 out of 10 in all areas. That's wealth by my definition. You have the same ability to do that as anyone. So I think that these material things are meaningless, and you'll know when you understand that these things are meaningless because they won't necessarily excite you. So buying a Lamborghini is something, like, I had the poster when I was a kid, and like, I've always loved cars. I genuinely love cars. I've rebuilt engines. I wanted to be a mechanic at one point in my life. Cars are my thing. They're my passion. But now, knowing people who own supercars, sitting in them, driving them, and being around people who look at a $200,000 car as like I mean, that's not really a lot of money to them, right? That's kind of like a $20 bill. It's 20,000 is like a $20 bill, and a $200,000 car is like $200. It's a different scale. So they look at it as like, of course you could achieve that, rather than, oh my God, like I could never do that. So the version of me 5 years ago would me 5 years ago, I would have looked at a Lamborghini as honestly, truthfully unachievable goal. Like I would have spoke that I wanted it. I was speaking that I wanted it, and I would tell people, hey, one day I'm going to buy that car. But in 5 short years, I've gone from honestly laying down at night and thinking, how is that possible for me? How could I ever do that? To now understanding that it's coming probably quicker than I realize, when I have the disposable income to go and purchase a car like that. That is very possible, and I'm gonna appreciate it. I'm gonna sit back and say, man, like, thank God that I have achieved this lifelong goal at this point. But now it's a physical piece of metal sitting in my garage. It's not anything that's unobtainable, and it doesn't shake me up, like, other than the adrenaline rush of driving fast. The car, just looking at it and thinking about it, even now, doesn't really excite me, which is weird because it's not what you would think it is. It's not like this blissful moment where you go and all your dreams come true. It's like, well, of course, I've been working very hard and been very laser focused on achieving this goal, and now it's coming to be like a reality, a possibility for me. And I'm understanding that, like, it's just a car, right? And I'm not looking for happiness in that car. It's a physical thing. So everyone looks on Instagram and they see all these influencers, like they're basically getting followers because they're flexing this big lifestyle. And I plan to do the same thing. I'm gonna post my car, right? I'm gonna post my lifestyle because it does help boost your following, and it's inspiring. I was inspired beyond belief when I started following entrepreneurs who posted their Lamborghinis, because I related to that, because I knew, like, wow, that is the goal for me. I want that car. So that car is like my main focus for a long time. If I can get that car, like, everything's gonna be okay. Now I realize, like, purchasing a car like that is secondary for one, but like investing in real estate to me is a must. So getting to the point where I'm purchasing up real estate and I'm creating a residual income for myself, so that no matter what happens in A, B, and C business, everything's okay. You still have the cash flow coming in, you have the equity. You're not stuck in a corner, you're not pinned up against the wall. You can make your next move because of the assets you create. And the car is kind of like a little thing on the side. And like a lot of wealthy people are that way. The car literally doesn't excite them. They bought it because it's such a small expense compared to all the other things that they build in their life. And there's pillars of wealth. There's things that go in place that over time, like, it's one level. So you get to a level where you get a job and you're making $500 a week when you're young, and you're like, wow, this is a lot of money. Then you realize how far that goes and you're broke, right? Well, if you continue to progress and you make $1,000 in a day, you're like, whew, like, wow, I'm doing something, right? I made $1,000 in a day. All of a sudden, now you can understand and grasp the fact that $1,000 a day is not a lot of money, and people make that per minute. So, right, people make millions of dollars per minute out there. There's businesses like Amazon, it's uncomprehendable money that flows through the business. There's no limit, and there is actually, to my knowledge, there's undocumented trillionaires out there in the Middle East and stuff. So we will definitely see our first public trillionaire at some point, probably during my lifetime, and $1 trillion companies for sure, which is unbelievable. But money is moving fast. Money's on a different scale. The internet, in retrospect, is in an early stage still. 20 years ago, right? 21 years ago, something like that. Still young. So things are changing and people aren't aware of it. If you're being cynical and you're like, oh, well, the internet game, like, e-com's already saturated. No. It's all in baby stages right now. It's all in the beginning stages of what it's going to be. Think about it. Like, we become more and more reliant on the internet. We do more and more business day to day on the internet. We integrate our lives and our homes more and more, and everything becomes more reliant on the internet. So there's constant advances in technology, 5G, like, all of these things are going to come to pass, so that the future generations are just, they don't know what it's like without internet. They were born in a time period where, like, even now, I mean, there's like 2004, right? So the internet was like becoming a part of households at this point. there's kids who were born in 2004 who are like behind the wheel of a car now. That's crazy. So they literally don't know what it's like without internet. They've grown up with digital cameras as a norm, like social media as a norm. It's all integrated in their life. So now these generations moving forward, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. There's good and bad, and I know I'm touching like a ton of topics, but I'm just like literally, I'm just making a video. I'm just putting out there my thoughts. These internet born and raised kids, like there's drawback to it. They're not raised by their parents. They aren't. If your mom tells you like, be careful out there, the world's dangerous, like you already know. You already have a cell phone. You've had a cell phone and you've been looking on social media. You already know that the world's not necessarily what your parents are saying. You probably believe that there's a lot more out there, and unfortunately it can be bad because of all the corruption, but in a way I could see some good things that come from it, just as far as maturing quickly and understanding like things. I gotta be careful. Like the world is a bad place. You can kind of learn all these things, and you can also learn about money. You can learn that people have a lot more money than your family, or like that there's no limits on what you can do. And you can learn from the bad that you see. You see people out there that flex a lot of money and they don't do anything good for anybody. They don't help their family. They don't give back to people in need. They don't even tip good. You know, like they're greedy. I don't believe in greed. I'm not greedy at all. I don't understand greed. I'm not jealous. If you commented on this video and you told me that you had $1 million in the bank, I'm actually not gonna, I might click your profile or something like that, but like just to be like, wow, it's a network. But if I looked on your profile and you said, and it didn't look like you had that money, I would tell myself that you had that money, because I want to believe that people are achieving wealth and greatness around me, and I want to be inspired by that, versus the the negative, the cynical view is like, yeah, nobody has money. Like money's hard to get. Like all these things you tell yourself, like I'll never have enough money. Everything's so expensive. I don't look at things as expensive. Like I literally don't value money at all. And I think that's probably a good thing. That's probably a good way to look at life. I've got to accumulate wealth, and I know I have to work way harder because of the fact that I just don't look at money in the way that people do. And I've learned that from being around successful people. So, if you have this mindset that I'm talking about, your cynical mindset that you probably aren't even aware of, just think about what on a day-to-day is expensive to you. Like if you think that a $6 cheeseburger is expensive, that's $6, you know? And also on another note, like you're looking at people, you hear people say all the time, like, oh, there's people in the world that are starving, you know, like eat all your food. Like if you don't want to finish your plate, have enough money to throw away the rest of the food. And that can be perceived different ways, but throw away your food if you don't want to eat it all, and make enough money to give people money, like give away money. Hand out $100 bills like it's nothing to people in need, right? Don't worry about the fact that people in other countries have less, and it's actually not what you think anyway. Like in Africa, for example, there is a lot of big cities. There's skyscrapers. Like it's not all poverty and desert. There's poverty in the US. There's kids that are starving and homeless in the United States. A lot of them, millions of them. They don't have parents. They're living in, on the streets really, or, in and out of these shelters. Like there's big problems in our country that we need to solve. There's definitely big problems all over the world. And I mean, one guy with $1 billion, with billions of dollars could make a substantial impact on that. And I believe that guy's going to end up being me. And hopefully I'll inspire other people to do the same and to look at money as like what it is, dude. Like I said, it's not real. It's literally made up. Why do people worship this? Why do people act like this is so hard to obtain? I mean, it is this because of your knowledge. So if you knew how to produce more money, you'd produce more money. I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm just saying that I'm now at 21 years old grasping these things, and I'm very excited about that. I'm understanding what this is. I'm understanding that it can be accumulated to the billions, okay? Billions. There's no limit, right? That's amazing. That makes me feel good. And it doesn't like blow my mind to say that, because of the fact, like I said, I'm understanding these things. I'm learning from many mentors. I've had a $100 million real estate mentor. This dude's built a $100 million portfolio. There's no limits. He's just getting started, right? I know people that are worth $10 million. That's easy for me to say. Here at our marketing company, we see hundreds of thousands of dollars on the daily run through our companies. There's no limits. I believe that. And that's a good thing for me. Like I really feel happy knowing that what I'm going to do, if the Lord blesses me with life and health, is I'm going to be able to change a lot of people's lives, help a lot of people, inspire people. That's what I'm hoping to achieve right now. I'm just putting this out here. I don't want you to look at this and be like, what is he like? And this is not a lot of money. I don't know what it is, but you know, a couple thousand. Like, I'm not trying, I just have this because I sold a car anyway. So I sold a car, I had some cash, I decided, let me use this as a prop in the video for visualization purposes. So this whole video is about just getting you to understand that the perception of money is very important. How do you perceive it? What do you look at as an expense? What do you look at as an asset? Like a house that costs you money every month is not an asset. It might make you money one day, like maybe, you know, like what you're gonna live in it for 25 years, 30 years, and then you're gonna make $10,000 on it, or 20,000. Like some people make 60,000. Like, what if you invested all of that money? You had a first-time buyer's mortgage and you invested in a condo or like a 4-unit. And I'm not saying this is the way to go, but let's say that you put some money down, you worked really hard, and you got yourself a fourplex, right? Well, now 3 of these units are being rented out, you're living for free, and now you have equity and cash flow, and you can reinvest that cash flow to increase your equity right back on your loan. Pay that loan down, get the loan paid down to the point where you have more equity to go into another apartment. That's like a simple business model that's gonna work forever. It's always been working. Real estate is real, real estate. So it's never really going down in value. You can lose big, but for the most part, if you do your proper due diligence and research, there's ways that you can start leveraging the system right now and let it play in your favor instead of hurting you. Like, a diamond is forever, right? Everyone deserves a home. These are, in my opinion, like, this is part of the system that programs you to believe certain things that you don't even understand why you believe. You just heard them your whole life, and they kind of trap you. And you know, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So maybe be open to the fact that there's some knowledge to be gained, and maybe you're not on top of your game. I look at things every day from a perspective of, I'm not smart and I need to learn from smart people. And I don't get down on myself and be like, you're not smart. It's not about that. I have full confidence in myself and full belief in myself. I just understand that it's very, very ignorant to think and to carry around this notion that you understand things, to sorry about the horn, to think that somebody is to think that somebody has it all figured out, right? I got the answers, like a cocky person. I don't understand the guys that walk around, like, I carry confidence because I want to portray energy and I want to make people feel my presence and feel good when they're around me. You want to do that. You want people to know that you got their back. Like, there's something about you that they just feel warm when you're around them, or they feel protected when you're around them because they don't know. So there's a difference in carrying energy when you walk into a room that people just look at you and like, you shake their hand and you look eye to eye and they really feel a connection with you, and they know that there's something about you that's different, and they don't know what it is. They can't put their finger on it, but you're not like a normal, like, because normal people are just like negative and they're quiet and they're not sure of themselves and insecure. So if you are insecure, like I am, put yourself out there anyway. Do it. Like, it's part of the journey if you want to achieve some sort of success and if you want to step outside of the norm. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I've touched on like probably 50 different topics, but if you like this kind of thing, let me know. I'm gonna try to keep putting out videos where I just brainstorm and talk about what's on my mind and hopefully bring some value. Thanks for watching, guys.